I've been through this dip
Mhm.
in my lifetime. I've been through this where suddenly a recession hits and people say, we don't need that ancillary stuff. Well, the ancillary stuff, like training your people to be more productive on Zoom calls, is like very important to affect the bottom line.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not peripheral. Training people to speak better is not peripheral. But for some reason, some of these HR people are under the impression that this is peripheral and it's just fluff. And it isn't, because this very much uh, connects with how you're projecting yourself and how you're representing your company's brand.
That just brings to mind how I was thinking. I wish companies would spend more time training people to speak correctly if you are representing the company's brand. I work for a company where the woman answered the phone and she would say, "This is her," every day, and I thought I was going to kill myself. Instead of "This is she," when they'd ask for her. But I think I see it a lot with the professors where I've worked. They'll say "between you and I" instead of "between you and me" or whatever, just little things. And I think we could all, I know I make mistakes and I love it when somebody points it out to me. Um, I just think when you're representing yourself as a speaker, I mean, I listen to major shows. Even Howard Stern speaks incorrectly when I've listened to some of these guys that they
Well,
do.
he's not erudite. I mean, he's
No, but he'll say "me and Joe did something," and I'm like, "What? Why?" I mean, I mean, really bad stuff, not like "between you and I" kind of stuff. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Really, like, yeah, he knows better. He should know better at that
But
age.
he probably does know better.
He
I mean,
does, but I hope. But I think he could get away with it. But
well,
and
that's
I
good.
haven't listened to him since 20 years. Whenever he went on Sirius, I don't listen to a lot of stuff like that. But I think that when you have to be, I don't know, like I worked with a guy in education who would write stuff and it was just, and I'm thinking he's writing this in class, you know.
You would be surprised, and I too have had so many colleagues who were professors who ended up, whose writing ended up so atrocious in my estimation that I would say, oh boy, this person should not be instructing our students. And then I had the last semester that I was teaching graduate MBA courses, I had one man in my course who was from a bad neighborhood in the Bronx, and he had made it and became. I turned this off. See, this is what he had made it and had worked his way all the way up to become a vice president of a bank. So he was in his final MBA course, and it was communications, and the
Which
dean,
should have been his first course, probably. But
well, that's true. Well, the dean said my curriculum must entail both written communication and oral communication. So, as far as speaking was concerned, he could speak. I mean, he could speak his way out of a prison. He was so good street talk.
Mhm,
And so that was no problem, but
mhm.
his writing was atrocious. So I said to him, I can't, in good faith, let you go on like this. You should go to the center that provides additional help for writing. He said, this is my last course. Nobody ever said this to me before. And I said, well, what can I tell you? I don't think they did you a very positive thing by letting you off the hook this way. And he said, I write all the time for my bank. And I said, and I will guarantee that your underlings are snickering behind your back for all the misspellings and all the malapropes in your letters. And he thought this was absolutely horrendous. And I gave him a grade, and he went to the dean to complain about it. And I said to the dean, do what you want with this, because I'm out of here. I've had enough of this. And the dean, I said, however, let me just give you his writing sample. You decide. And the dean went, wow. He said, how did he get this far? I said, well, that's something internally you're going to have to decide.
Mhm.
So I don't think we're doing anybody any favors by allowing them to be off the hook for illiteracy. I don't think this is a
Well,
favor.
I don't think they have to be able to write like a great novel or
Well, right,
and I think a lot of
right.
people think like people hire ghostwriters all the time to create their books.
Yes,
I don't have a problem with that.
right. I
I
agree.
think that if you're representing something or if you are up on stage speaking and you say something that's really grammatically incorrect, I mean, it just makes you look so bad, I think, to so many people. I can remember being with my best friend, Dick, and he and I would sit in meetings and write down how many times people would use I when they're supposed to use me because we were so bored in our meetings. Okay, there's another one. There's another one. Because it drove us crazy, you know?
So you were among the snickerers.
I was a snickerer. Well, but I
So
was bored, and I think I think if I knew I just wanted to help them though, and you can't tell people to get there. You can't correct people. I mean,
no, you
you know what I
can't,
mean. So what? I'm
especially if
thinking it's up to the
what,
CEOs to
right,
what?
especially if they're your boss.
No, I know. So I hope the CEOs who are listening to this hire somebody to come in and fix that because they're representing you and your company.
Well, it's even more than that, because when I was doing Amplify Your Media Presence, Amplify Your Brand, when I was writing that book, what I kept driving home, and I don't know, the book kind of wrote itself as I was writing it and writing it and writing it. I found that I was drawn more and more to a hole that had never been answered. Like, who is this brand?
Mhm.
And ultimately, you are representing your company when you get up and speak about to your company, to your colleagues, to other companies, to the competition. You're representing the company, but it's not even that cut and dry, because you're also representing yourself as a brand. People don't stay in positions forever. They are always looking around. And you would be surprised. I once delivered a speech to a graduate school for which I wasn't paid because I was on the faculty. And it was a business graduate school. And I delivered the speech, I don't know, like 12 years afterwards. A guy comes to me, finds me on social, and says, oh, what you said in that speech was so amazing. Now I'm in charge of hiring speakers. Would you come to my company? Now that was 12 years later.
Hmm.
Okay. So you don't know how much of a brand influencer you are
Yeah, that's a good
when
point.
you are out there.